that it's you can't say why it's good. You're not quite, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is, and I don't know that we always think we need certain ingredients, but sometimes it just, worship and music and stuff just does that, and it's good, and it's a mystery a bit, but it says in Psalms how pleasant it is to sing praises to our God, and there's something about it giving off, it gives good in every direction. It seems that God likes it too, and so and when it's done well. So thanks, John, and for the spirit that's done in. And I think it dovetails exactly into what I'm here to tell you guys today. A bit of a confessional today. I've been away for a couple of weeks. As you guys know, I've had some time to reflect. People ask me what I did in Alaska. We fished like a day, and we rode on boats a couple of days, and then we watched the rain for about 10 days. It was beautiful. It's a pretty place, but I had a lot of time to reflect. In fact, I was so bored, I I was jogging a couple miles a day, and I got to where I was going 5 miles every day, because there was nothing to do. But I had a lot of time to reflect, a lot of time to think about things, and when you get some distance in between you and some time, you can reflect. And so just coming back here, it's a mark of a good vacation, as you have some fresh eyes to see. And you get back home and the whole house is a mess, and you realize there's a bunch of fires, and you're like, oh yeah, take out the trash. But some good stuff, and a lot of my reflection has to do with me, but it has to do with some things that I've been talking about and doing and dealing with in my own life, and I always give that to you guys, and unapologetically so. But sometimes it gets me in trouble. And so today is one of those days where I want to sort of fix some of the things that I said, because, it says if someone speaks, let them speak as if they're speaking the oracles of God. And so I try to believe that God's going to add the electricity to this, and He's going to, whatever you need, you're going to get, and whatever you don't need, He's going to wash away. I don't pretend that I have any power or strength or anything on my own that gets anything. I feel like it's all God. All the Spirit of God and all of our own hearts just doing whatever they need to do. And we find what we need, right? And so all of the stuff in this ministry, a lot of it's a journey into my own heart and life. And I'd rather give you fresh baked bread with a new recipe, and maybe it doesn't taste as good, than I would give you something we got out of the freezer. So with that said, you get an organic, real life sort of biography. And so with that said, it's a bit of a confessional day. I want to go back because the last time I was here talking about patience and perseverance, I said some things and cited some stuff, and I think it's misunderstood. And even the language and the stuff working, it has not worked for me, and there's been a dissonance there. And I think it's because it's unchristian. So with that being said, let's go to the first verse, Laura, that I've got in here. This is what we're studying, the fruit of the Spirit. We want to be practical, and this whole thing is about being practical. And I think I've been honest about it. A lot of this for me these things come down to me being angry. If I'm really honest, anger gets the best of me a lot. I'm talking about on little small things. It'll get me, and it ruins my credibility. It ruins me. I feel bad about it. Messes up my relationships, and there's a lot of anger, and so I'm trying to reflect on that and the spirit of love, which is not angry. And so all of this stuff, how do we get there? How do we start to do this? But it says the fruit of the Spirit is love and joy, peace, patience or forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control is the last two. And we've gone through love, joy, peace, and patience. John last week talked about kindness, right? Yeah. I hope I hadn't reviewed the slides yet. But kindness, yeah. Goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Kindness. Hides behind all things. What a neat thing. But that list, if you look at that list, this is interesting to me. But there's some big ones on the list, but then there's some that you just don't even worry about. You're like, hey, like love's a big one, that gets me, and patience, like self-control is really. But like, I don't think about goodness. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I just kind of throw that like goodness, of course, goodness. But goodness is a big thing. And like, goodness is a real basic sort of idea. and good and evil and what that is. Like, we talk about that, think about that all the time, but it's really hard to define those terms, and I'm not even sure that I can define them today. I think I told you guys a while back, I asked one of the foremost experts on demonology in the Catholic Church to define evil, and he wouldn't, he couldn't. And so for them to be such basic themes in our universe, it's odd that we have a hard time coming up with what they really are. But I don't think you have to smell too hard for what goodness looks like and what it is. Good is good, right? Like, we have a knowledge of good and bad sort of innately in us. Our kids seem to know if it's wrong to lie. They know if it's good to do this or bad to do that. So it's in us to do. But it's a choice. And goodness is a choice. And these days we can reflect on a lot of things, but Christians are supposed to be good. And we have a reputation of not being so good these days. People are questioning our motives, questioning our judgments, questioning our traditions, our history, everything about us. And they're painting us all with the same brush. Now, as much as good as Christians have done, we've done bad too. We're all a mixed bag. But we have to be good. And if we're not good, then we're in trouble and something's not going right. And so this is just one of these baseline characteristics that it seems so obvious, but it gets difficult. And so I have been reflecting. I knew John would be talking about kindness. I was glad that he would be talking about it because he's a much more kinder person than I am. And he probably ought to talk about goodness too, because he's probably gooder than I am. But none of us are good. Jesus says, why you call me good? Nobody's good but God. And we're all sinners. I liked the way we came in here this morning because the tenderness and the songs that we sang were coming to God in a place of honesty and humility and love and real gentle sweetness, goodness. And even as we were sitting there listening to it, I felt like God was saying to me, see, this is how I do things. He does not force things. And the last time I came to you, I was talking to you, I was talking about patience and perseverance. And I'm getting like how we have to persevere. So patience has this, like, if you talk about the English word patience, it's like, oh, let's breathe, let's be patient. But perseverance is like, well, let's not breathe. Let's like endure and get through it. But it's the same word. And so in doing that, in my place, I'm thinking about endurance and grit and like suffering through it and like making it happen and persevering to the end, because I quit a lot. If it gets hard, I just quit. If it's a mile to go but I don't want to do it, I'll just find a reason to stop. If the screen can't hang up right, I'm like, just forget it, we won't have words. I just lay over and die and quit a lot, and I don't like that about myself. Okay, it is a problem for me. And so the place that I've been is like, especially like physical exercise and stuff, I'm in a place of trying to persevere and push and not quit, and driving myself to be better. And I out of that, I was talking about this guy, David Goggins, that is a Navy SEAL, and he talked about taking souls and like not quitting and like not letting somebody get the best of you. And I was using that language a couple weeks ago. And even today, I'm on the way down, I'm thinking, how embarrassing. How do I talk about taking people's souls in a sermon series on the fruit of the Spirit? That's awful. So I want to just go back real quick and just make a couple of notes about that. First of all, I always thought I always took that to be kind of like jock talk, bravado, kind of comical. We don't even know what the soul is, okay? We can't even define the soul. I read books and books on theologians talking about what the soul is. Some people think it's the seat of your personality. Some people think it's the all-encompassing person, including the body. You can take the soul and say whatever you want to about it, but let's just be honest. We cannot take souls. I cannot take your soul. I can't see your soul. I can't define your soul. I'm not sure how it works. I'm not sure how my soul is. I don't know where it is. I know the Bible talks about them a lot, but it interchanges heart and soul and spirit and stuff a lot. And so it's hard to say what that is, but that's bad language. And there's a principle there that's good, and an energy and stuff that's good, but that's bad language, especially from a preacher, especially from Christians. And so I just want to go back and fix that a little bit. And here's what I think that we can say that is So here's what he says it is, just so you guys know. It's taking souls, acknowledging an opponent. Now that's opponent language, but this is the language that's trouble. Acknowledging your opponent and using your feelings towards them to fuel your best work. So you're just harnessing emotions, and you're taking the feelings you have towards them, and you're making your best work out of them to earn their respect. So it's not like we're going to kill these people. We're going to take. It's just saying, look, you know, we're going to take our feelings that have. They're our opponent. We're trying to finish this race. Who's going to win, and you're just taking your feelings about them beating you, and you're saying, no, I'm going to beat them. And that's all that is. And then another way to say it is the power of taking a soul is doing beyond what someone else thought you could do and surpassing their maximum expectations about you. So all it is leveraging yourself to do more than you would have done if you're just worried about yourself and nobody else. It's taking maybe some negative things that are being pushed towards you, and it's sort of rerouting them to create fuel. That's not necessarily bad. Now here's where it's not Christian. Souls, that's not Christian. We can't even say that we save souls, but we ought to be trying. God saves souls. Like the soul thing is no good. But I do think that there's a thing, and it is very Christian here. In Genesis, there's a famous verse, and it's Cain and Abel, and just Genesis chapter 4. And this is where it is, friends, and this is what we can leverage, and this is the battle that we ought to be fighting. This is God talking to Cain. If you do what's right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what's right, sin's crouching at your door. It desires to have you or to master you, but you must rule over it. And he goes out and kills his brother the next morning. So where is the battle? I mean, we know the battle's not against flesh and blood. This is a major thing. You never, I think for me, I'm dealing with a lot of anger, and this harnessed anger for me, and it created energy for me, but that's a bad way to create that energy. And I'm being mad at the wrong stuff. But what it's helped me see is I have a lot of anger. And so I'm going to have to redirect that anger somehow, but I can't put it at the face of other people and other stuff. All of it is about me, right? All of it is about my soul and my heart and my mind and my spirit. And it's about your soul and your heart and your mind and your spirit. So when this says sin is crouching at your door, you have to master it, that's the major cosmic conflict. That there is something in you, insidious, and in me that wants what I want and wants to do what I want, whether it's to stop or start or quit or keep going or take somebody else or be taken over. All that stuff is in me. And we're all having to sort of maneuver those waters somehow, right? And we have to we could get mad at sin trying to take our souls, couldn't we? And see, like, that's what Christians should do. Take a principle that's good and say, yeah, and, both, and point it to Christ. Jesus comes battling the stuff that's battling our souls. And it's always crouching at our door. Sin, what is it? It's just, it's in little girls. It's just a self-centeredness. It's just that ego that just needs for itself and nothing else. And that'll take you in 1,000 different ways. And it's trying to every day, continuously. Well, we could bow down and lay down to it. No way out of it. We can get fired up. And I like the idea of getting fired up about this stuff. Do you want? It says, thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Steal. You ever been stolen from? You like it? Is it fun? How you feel when you get stolen from? Not good. It's a violation. It's a big deal. Even if you can forgive. Satan's coming to steal everything from you. He wants to steal your day-to-day, your week this week, your month, this year. He'll steal your wife, your kids. He'll steal your home. Steal your joy, steal your peace. Steal your credibility. Soap operas, stealing your time. Phones, stealing your time. I mean, you could just lay over and die. But like, I think that these things are trying to take our souls, and we ought to say, no, I'm going to take its soul. But you can't do that. What can you do? You can take it back. So I'm taking my soul back, taking my heart back. When the dishes are piled up high, my wife made the water 2 days ago, I'm taking it back. I'm just going to do it. I'm doing it all. I'm going to do it. I'm going to clean the whole kitchen. I want to surpass the expectations. I'm not going to let it hurt me, defeat me, make me mad, take me over, ruin my relationship with my wife for a day, make a big argument over. I want the dishes clean. If I don't want them clean, then why am I mad? It was taking me. Just a little bitty thing, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, friends, that's where the battle, we want to go fight big battles. We don't need to cross seas. We don't have to cross the yard. Man, the battle is here, and it's every day, and it's the sin, and it's the self, and it's trying to take us. And a lot of stuff, I think other people, there's bad people and selfish people, and they're all around, they're trying to take from us too, but we can't worry about that. We just have to worry about our real estate. And to me, that this is what this harnesses, is it says, I'm not going to let it take me. I'm going to do better. There's more in me. There's a man named Smoothe. He was a famous evangelist. He worked miracles, insane miracles, unbelievable miracles. You guys could go and read about it and decide if you think it's true or not. Thousands and thousands and thousands of testimonies of divine miracles at his hand. He had a speech impediment. He couldn't talk well. He couldn't preach well. He didn't do anything, but he was a powerful man. And he said that he was 10,000 times bigger inside than he was on the outside. And I think that to me, that is a Christian capacity. That we can be 10,000 times bigger on the inside than the outside. And that all that can be happening on the outside is one thing. But it has nothing to do with what's happening on the inside. And this is our inheritance. This is the walking in the Spirit. This is the stuff that we have and the tools that we're allowed to use to fight. And we are to fight. Some of the language gets funny because we're trying to be PR. I mean, I was even thinking about like taking souls as kind of like killing people with kindness. Well, that's just are we killing people? You know what I mean? Like any of the language doesn't work when you start getting towards other people. So it just can't be about other people. But that's the whole thing. I have got to block it off because people are somehow getting on me and it's what's making me mad. So again, it's somehow about my real estate right here. And it's somehow about that. And so I just want to make that right. I don't want to take people's souls. I don't think we should talk like that. I don't think we should take people's hearts. I don't think we should take people's anythings. I think we should take nothing from anybody. And we should only take control, right? And take power of what's ours and what's available to us. And I do think, friends, that there's something to it, because I think a lot of us have been beaten down. We've been told we couldn't. We've been hit down a lot. We're getting tired of it. And so it's good for somebody to come along and straighten us up and say, take heart and take energy, you know. And so that's all I meant for that, is that we can do it and we can do more. And that we ought to leverage this energy in a more positive way. I have this quote I thought of, and I should have asked Laura to put it up, but I did it. But it's by Howard Thurman. And this is a visual. I've given it to you before, but this is such a powerful thing. Dealing with anger, dealing with the world, dealing with how we deal with things. Because all of this is about the fruit of the Spirit and us trying to cultivate what we want in terms of following God. Howard Thurman says, there is in every person an inward sea. And in that sea there is an island. And on that island there is an altar. And standing guard before that altar is the angel with the flaming sword. Nothing can get by that angel to be placed upon that altar unless it has the mark of your inner authority. Nothing passes the angel with the flaming sword to be placed upon the altar unless it is part of the fluid area of your consent. This is your crucial link with the eternal. So just picture of an ocean in the middle of an island, in the middle of an altar, and an angel guarding that altar from anything except what your authority and consent allows to be on that altar. We have the power of choice, the power of thought, the power to act, the power to refrain. And the real power, friends, comes by the Spirit of God and is not forceful. It is not difficult. It's not scary. And I think it is gentle and sweet. It's the kindness of God that leads us to repentance. It's the grace of God that melts our hearts and makes us want to turn to Him. You know, these are the weapons of our warfare. And these are the things that we have to harness if we're going to ever get the world to listen to us. I hope that makes some sense today. One more verse, Philippians 4:8. Really let me down this whole thing, friends. I need to just be honest. I haven't reflected well. I haven't put my mind to good things these days. My language, all of it. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent, praiseworthy, think about those kinds of things. You know, nothing on that screen puts me at ends. Nothing on that screen makes me tense. Nothing makes me anxious. All that stuff makes me breathe slower. That's God. That's the stuff that God is made out of. That's the stuff. That's the kindness that is beyond all things, beyond everything that we find in this world. And that's the power that we need to harness. That's the beauty, the goodness. That's the Christian way, not these other aggressive things. So forgive me for being aggressive and for using some of that language, because language does matter. With that being said, let's be done. Amen? All right, let me pray.